Hello viewers, it's time to review some more famous people's drinks because let's face it, if you've ever been on the stage, in a film or on television, these days you have to produce some alcohol. Now obviously, full disclosure, full transparency, I am biased when it comes to gin because I make my own gin. Here is a glass of my excellent London Drizzle by James Gin with some light tonic water, a bit of fruit and some cucumber, and it really is first class. But diversity in gin is a welcome thing, as it is everywhere else. It's great that other people are having a crack at making gin as well. I approve of it. I'd like to have lots of gins on my own drinks trolley, even though it's mainly filled with James Gin. We're going to begin with Margot Robbie, who's she produced Barbie and was in Barbie, and she was in that thing with Tom Cruise. Papa Salt Coastal Gin is her offering. I like Margot Robbie. I think she's a rather excellent actor and a very stylish lady, etc. Pleasing cork. Quite a nice texture to the bottle as well. It's matte, you know. I've forgotten the word for it. Nice citrus notes. Very fresh. Fresh shot glass. Let's try this Dos Hombres, which is a mezcal, so it's sort of a tequila. And sorry, I'm going to have to refer to my notes because I can't remember who any of these people are. Oh, this is Aaron Paul and Bryan Cranston, who did Breaking Bad. So they're bad figures. Not really much of a drinker of this sort of thing, but I understand why it is popular. Sorry about my slightly shaky hand, by the way. I'm still recovering from my fractured wrist that I did a few months back on my bicycle. Nice cork again. Quite a nice, simple bottle. Nice clear label, clear bottle, unpretentious. Smells very dangerous. It smells sort of brown, sugary, and it smells sticky, if you know what I mean. Whoa, yeah, that's quite, here, it's quite heartwarming, quite sternum inflaming. That's really not bad at all. Yeah, I assume it was made in a caravan or something. Right, what else have we got? Just clear the senses, neutralise my mouth. With James Gin, London Drizzle and light tonic, with a little bit of added fruit and cucumber. Where should we go next, Lucy Brown? Oh, should we try Ricky Gervais? Dutch Bar Vodka. He's been advertising this a lot. There are some quite funny videos on YouTube of him laughing at it and getting it wrong and all. That sort of thing. I like his stuff. I liked him in The Office. I liked Afterlife. I liked Cemetery Junction, the film, if anybody's seen that. Handmade in Great Britain, in North Yorkshire. That commends it. Having just spent some time in North Yorkshire. Excellent fish and chips. I think vodka would go quite well with fish and chips. Oh, it has unusually for a vodka, it has a slight hint of freshly rubbed tobacco about it. That sort of tobacco people used to use to make roll-ups. Do you know what? For a vodka, that's pretty nice. I usually find it very boring and meaningless. It's like alcoholic water sometimes, but that has flavour. That has good character. And it does faintly remind me of accepting a roll-up behind the bus stop when I was very much younger. Right, what else do we have? What is this absurd-looking thing? This is Signet handcrafted Welsh dry gin. Who is Signet made by, Lucy Brown? Oh, it's Katherine Jenkins. Now, I do know who Katherine Jenkins is, of course, because she's considered by many people to be Britain's foremost classical music artist, by sales anyway. She's done loads of albums. I think she was voted Classical Singer of the Year by, I presume it was Classic FM, because Radio 3 don't do that sort of thing. Interesting bottle, glass stopper, but with a a plastic seal on it rather than being ground. Very ridiculous bottle, but quite a nice shape, I suppose. It was going to be quite difficult to pour with my wobbly hand. So this is Katherine Jenkins Gin, and this should sing. Feels a bit knockoverable, that. I like Katherine Jenkins. I've seen her live, actually. It was extremely good. Actually, what she's like at gin. A slight medicinal quality, which I like, because that is also present in James Gin American Mustard. Definitely smells like a gin, not too strong on the citrusy stuff. Four Walls, a blend of Irish whiskies and Pennsylvania straight rye whiskey. That ought to be interesting. Who's made that? Oh, Four Walls. Oh, this is the bloke whose name I can't say. Rob McElhenney? McElhenney. Rob McElhenney, Charlie Day and Glenn Howerton. They're the Always Sunny in Philadelphia people. So it's a blend. It's Irish whiskey, which I sometimes find a bit on the sweet side, with an American rye whiskey, with which I'm not terribly familiar. I like the colour of it. I like the way the colour of the liquid contrasts with the dark colours on the bottle, so it sort of has a sort of almost a fireplace, snug appeal to it. It's already warming me up just looking at it. Let's see what it tastes like. Very, very pale colour. Very gentle on the nose. I'm just saying stuff here that people who test drinks say. Ooh, that's nice. It's got some good strong heat in it immediately at the back of the tongue and in the back of the throat. It feels slightly violated by it, but in a nice way. Yes, I could sit by a barbecue and have that in the back of a truck. Oh, in fact, I'm going to finish that one. Have I done all of them? Oh no, there's we can edit this so it looks like I've got a fresh glass every time. A bit of James Gin London Drizzle and Tonic. Oh, that is superb. It really is. The cucumber is excellent in it. Right. What is this slightly Art Deco thing? Gardner Gin. Oh, this is Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt, who I've seen in films. Oceans. Mr.
and Mrs. Smith.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Oceans. Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Wolves.
What?
Wolves.
Wolves. Oceans, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, wolves, well, that sort of thing. Creaky cork. Well, all I can say is this had better be worth it. Interesting bottle. Looks a little bit like part of Gaudi's Sagrada Familia. Can't do it with that hand. An objet d'art for your drinks trolley or cabinet, definitely. But what does it taste like? Very interesting. Not citrusy at all. Slightly herbal. What are the botanicals in that? Does it say? It says it's Gardner French Riviera Gin. Hang on a moment, viewers. I'm interested in this because it's really most unusual on the nose. Something beauty of the French Riviera, As a man of this place. What's it got in it? I don't know, but it's something herbal. And it's organic. It's already interesting before you've drunk it. And I think, you know, the bottle doesn't really make a difference to the flavour of the gin, but something about the experience of opening a bottle, holding it, so the shape, the colour, all of that is part of the foreplay of the actual drinking experience. And to that, in the case of this gin, Gardener, you can add great nasal interest. That's bollocks, but you know what I mean. It really does smell. Almost doesn't smell like gin, actually. It almost smells like almost like some sort of very exotic cordial. Why do people think that just because they're famous they can make a gin? Don't like, don't comment, and definitely don't subscribe. I think if I was going to be left alone this evening, and I may be actually, because my missus has had to go out somewhere, I would... Well, I don't want Margot Robbie's gin, because that's just horrible. Katherine Jenkins Gin, horrible. Brad Pitt's gin, on the other hand, is horrible. The vodka, yeah, I might go for the blended whiskey. I'm going to try a bit more and see if I'm still right about that. Ow, that's my bad arm. Who is this made by? I've already forgotten.
Rob McElhenney, co-owner of Wrexham Football Club with Brian Reynolds.
Oh, this is linked to Brian Reynolds. Yes, of course, Wrexham. I completely forgot about that. It is very pale, look. It's not like a single malt scotch. It looks quite dark in volume like that. Well, I mean, it's got a bit of amber to it, but when you put a little shot out like that, it's almost clear. Bit like a bucket of seawater. It isn't blue anymore. That's amazing. Brian Reynolds, who's obviously my great rival in gin, have a bit more palate cleansing. He is associated with this in a, you know, slightly tangential way. One of the blokes responsible for making this, or at least for, you know, creating it or marketing it or whatever, owns a football club with Brian Reynolds, who makes aviation gin, which is terrible. This, on the other hand, no, I've gone off it. I'll have Ricky Gervais's vodka. Thank you for watching.
Good.
Any of that any good, or is it just bollocks?